wobble.
Really?
Yeah, like. That's the template I made. These are the pieces of steel, and then I have to bore that out to fit a bushing in, and then, it's called a boss. You put the boss in, and then you put the bushing inside the boss, and then the pin goes inside the bushing.
And it'll be like brand new.
It will be.
How old is that backhoe?
1974. Yeah, now I bought it, I thought it was old. It's about 20 years old when I bought it, but now it's... I've had it longer. I've had it longer than what it was old. So.
That's funny.
I haven't used it near as much as what it was worn out when we bought it. So this has been worn out.
Since you bought it?
Yes.
Oh, but it's worse now?
Of course it's worse.
Oh, well, I'm just wondering if it stayed the same. Why you're replacing it. It was worn out and you've used it for over 20 years.
And it's more worn out now.
Okay.
So I'm finally replacing it. It'll be like brand new.
Yay. Tell me about this project you've got going on.
Well, the stabilizer leg on my tractor was worn out when I bought the tractor 20 some years ago. So I didn't figure it was going to hurt anything to keep using it because the damage had already been done and something had to be done sooner or later, but the bucket was more important. And so, as you can see, there was no bushing left in here. The pin kind of made this into an oval, and this is how loose the bushing would fit in there if you were to put it back in there. So that's not. So the metal is fatigued. So I cut out a piece of steel I bought on eBay, similar pieces, and that has to be welded together, and I have to bore a hole all the way through that. That's 4 or 5 thousandths smaller than the outside diameter of this bushing. I don't have the tool for that yet, but then this has to be welded, and then this whole assembly gets welded onto the leg. As you can see, I ground the edge all the way around to cut the weld, and then that gets welded onto the side of the stabilizer leg.
Okay, so you're going to weld this piece to this first, and then bore a hole through there.
All the way through.
That fits, this fits snugly in there.
It actually doesn't fit. It's 4 thousandths smaller, so it has to be pressed in.
The hole is smaller than, what is this called?
The bushing.
The bushing. The hole is smaller than the bushing?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it wasn't before.
Yeah, that's kind of not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So as you can see, the pin has rounded that all out on this end. And
wow.
So without the bushing in there the way it was, the whole stabilizer leg just
Can't see your hands flopping around there.
flop back and forth on both sides of the tractor. So once I get this side fixed, I'll have to do the other side. So I have 2 of these made, and I have bushings.
So what goes through here?
The pin.
The pin, and that holds the
whole leg onto the frame.
The leg. The legs come down on the side and stabilize the backhoe.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a learning process. So I didn't have a grinder big enough to really cut this stuff. So I went on eBay and found a Milwaukee grinder. Got a pretty good deal on it, and bought some grinding wheels, and that thing will wear your hands, arms, everything out.
It's big. It's big.
It's a big grinder, but it really cuts through the metal. Where I had a little 4 1/4 inch grinder, that I would be there for a week trying to cut through all this stuff. So
that's what he keeps telling me. That's his excuse for buying new tools.
Well, I could bring it to a shop, and they would charge about $2,500 to repair both sides of maybe just one side.
One side,
yeah,
I think so.
Yeah,
all right.
It's an expensive project.
Okay.
I think one line bore costs around $1,000. So, and this would be 2 line bores plus the regular, all the replacement of metal and stuff. So it's going to cost. It would probably cost $2,500.
And then your backhoe will be like new.
No, just the pin holding the leg onto the tractor will be like new.
And
in fact, it is new. I bought a new one.
So this bushing was completely worn away, and the only thing that was in there was the pin loose inside this. Okay, just want to make that clear.
That's how you get the bushing out.
That was it.
Of course, I was twacking on it a little bit before you came.
I suspected so.
If you can look inside here, this bushing, this is the 2-inch bushing on the other side. You can see I welded a whole bunch of blobs on there.
Okay.
And what that does is it heats it up. And it can't expand because it's inside of that boss. And because it can't expand, it just sits there. But as it cools off, it contracts. And that's how you get the bushing loose.
Oh.
And then you use the old pin and you drive it in there. The old pin won't go through anymore because your bead weld spots that you have in there. So then you use the old pin to drive it out. So there's not much left of that bushing either. As you can see, it's pretty thin here.
It is. Wow.
So it's been quite worn. And this is the old pin, and you can see the big
Gouge.
grooves from the different spots, like this one here where it's worn. You can see the ridge there where the bushing used to be and how that's worn.
Okay.
So now that I've gotten the bushing out of there, normally you're supposed to press the new bushing in, but I don't have a press. I don't think she wants me to spend the money on a press. After the comment about the boring rig.
You know, I could just edit that out.
I can't lift this thing myself, so I have to use a pry bar.
You told me I didn't need a jacket. It's freezing out here.
So this boss is still good.
Called a boss?
Yes, this is a boss. And the new bushing will get pressed into there. And the new bushing. And this is the new pin that'll go into the new bushing.
Okay.
That's all for now.
All right.
There's the grinder I used to...
Oh, the big grinder. Yeah.
Yeah, I can show you the other side where I ground off that. You can see where the old...
Yep. And that's where you're going to put the new one on.
It's called strengthening steel.
So you had to order special steel for that?
No, just plate steel.
Okay.
This is what's left of my piece.
And you just ordered that off of eBay?
Yeah, you can order plates just about any size.
Okay.
And then they ship it through the postal service. They had it in a bag with a bunch of postal service bags on each end to pad it.
Yeah. It was a heavy box.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. More later. Okay, Dutch just brought this in. He welded the circle onto the, what do you call the other piece? Looks like a blade, but it's not. Some kind of stabilizer. He's putting earplugs in his ears. Can't even hear me.
I got myself new headset.
Wait, those are that's my new headset.
They're pretty nice. I never had a pair like this before. So I gotta put them on the right way.
Is there a right way?
Yeah.
Oh. Ew, now they'll have your ear germs.
Well, you get them anyway when you lick my ears.
I did not lick your ears. Ew.
What? There.
Okay, tell me now about your part here.
Let me take your temperature. It's pretty good.
Oh boy, that's a real close up there.
I welded on that piece onto the other piece that makes 1 inch thick metal, and now I have to bore it out and then position it with the pin so I can weld it onto the leg. That's all that's left. The other bushings are installed.
Okay. Cool. Anybody want to play Yahtzee?
No.
Ooh. No? Oh, bummer. Alright, show me what you got going on here.
Yes, it's a little off center, but it's not the final hole. I have to
Okay, well, show me
bore it out
I
to
haven't
the
even.
exact size.
He cut the hole in here. What'd you use to do that?
Just a hole saw.
Oh, okay. Tip it up so I can see it better. It's heavy.
I already cut my hand on it. And then I bumped it. See?
Cut yourself? Is it sharp? Look at that. That looks pretty good.
The drill press is not the best for that. The table wobbles. There's not enough strength in it. Not like an end mill. An end mill would have gone right through that. And every time I put pressure on it, the pulley slips. It's not made for steel like this.
Are you gonna do the second one like that too then?
Yeah, but I might get it centered better. I thought I measured it out. I don't know what happened.
So it'll still work even though it's not centered all the way? Better than it was working where it had a lot of play.
That's not the final hole. I have to bore it out still.
Oh, okay.
That's just a rough hole.
Oh. It's not going to go much bigger than that, is it?
That's 2 1/8. I need 2 1/4. So another...
Oh, 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch.
See how many 1/8 inches and a quarter. It's kind of like bushels in a peck kind of thing, isn't it?
No, that's different.
Yeah, 2 pecks in a bushel, yeah. 2 1/8 and a quarter. I knew there was something similar. So what I have here is the strengthening steel, and this is the bushing that was missing, and this is the steel that I welded up together to make 1 inch thick, replacing the 1 inch thick on the side of the stabilizer leg. What I purchased was a boring head. It's a Schar's boring head with a number 2 taper with tang. So first what I did is I used my chuck and a hole saw and cut a hole through the steel to begin with. So this is what it looks like in a drill press to have a boring head operate in a drill press. I have the speed a little higher than recommended probably, but that will give it a smoother cut.
Wait, aren't you supposed to use a press for that?
I don't have a press. This is how I've always done my bushings. I beat them in with a sledgehammer. And yes, I'm using safety glasses because these bushings are hard and they chip.
Oh, it's almost there.
1/4 inch to go.
Looks so deceiving.
I might get a bigger hammer.
Oh, okay. Hey, old man. Okay, so this is the part for the tractor. He was using this little hammer, which is a big hammer. And he's got about less than 1/4 inch to get that in there. Okay, let me see it close up.
So it's all the way in there. And I put it in from the back side so it'd have a smooth surface there. And
This
it doesn't look like
gonna line up against the backhoe.
this goes inside the leg.
Oh, okay.
This is the surface that will rub against the other part of the tractor that comes from the frame.
Thinking.
So the frame is here, and then the leg is here. So now I just have to weld this on, but I have to put the pin in there to line it up. So,
Okay.
So I know where to weld it.
And hammering it in with the hammer doesn't squash it or anything
Well,
like
it's
that?
supposed to. It's supposed to be tight in there.
Okay.
I had about a difference of at least 0.010 of an inch smaller.
Okay.
And that seemed to work pretty good. That feels about the same as what I've done with the other bushings in the tractor. So
It looks good.
yeah,
Looks like a nice professional part. All right. Okay, so what did you say you're doing now? Trying to find the leg? It's right here. I can see it. Oops. Let's see. You've got this pallet over top of it.
That's my workbench.
The pallet? That's a nice pallet. It's not real wide, but it's heavy duty. What kind of wood is that? Pine?
Yeah, I suppose.
Looks like pine. So what are you going to do now after you're going to lift it up and put it on there?
I have to put the pin in there to line it up. And then once I have the pin all the way through both ends, then I can weld it.
Are you going to do that today?
Probably, if I can get at it.
Yeah, there's a lot of snow in front of the door. Yeah. Do I need to put the camera down and give you a hand?
Yeah, the cars are in my way. Those are all going to have to be moved.
Should I move the car right now? I had to move the car for Dutch. And there's still a lot of snow out here.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm cleaning up the metal. The clean metal welds much better. If you got rust and stuff like that, it pits and it doesn't make a good weld. So everywhere that this thing is going to get welded on, I have to take that off and put the bevel on there.
Okay. Anyway, he's cleaning it up, and then he's going to weld that onto there. Okay, what are you doing now then?
Get my snap ring pliers.
Why are you taking the snap ring off?
I was going to take this off to weld it, or drain the bevel.
Oh. Okay. Alright, I can see you're busy at work. I'll leave you alone. What he's doing, if I hear something, I don't suppose I should watch it.
Don't look at it.
I'm not looking at it. I only have the camera trained on it. I'm gonna go in. What you doing?
Welding that piece on still.
Oh, okay. Alright, bye. It is snowing. It looks like. You get it done there? Where is it? Not this side. This is the old side. This is the replacement side.
Don't look too closely at my welding.
What's that?
Yeah, don't look too closely at my welding. Hey, why don't you put the camera down and push this over there?
I gotta go get Erica.
Right.
Okay, I can help push. Alright, there it is. It's going over to the backhoe. Looks like you got the arm over there. The backhoe's running. Whew, it's hard to walk. Ah. There's no tire. Get it spinning.
Warming up.
Gonna come in and celebrate the birthday? Is it raining? It feels like it's raining. It's raining. There's still some snow on the trees, but it's melting off. But it's still cold enough I can see my breath. Not sure if you can. Is that a locking ring? Okay. You have to speak loud. put a locking ring. You do one on each side? Because I can't see doing that one. Well, that was quick.
Oh, it doesn't wobble anymore.
It doesn't wobble anymore.
It used to wobble.
Really?
Yeah, like 2 inches out here.
Oh, wow. Great work. Look at that.